Welcome back to another episode of Out of the Bubble. I love being on Instagram and I've come across so many inspiring women on the platform, and today's guest is no exception. It's time to meet blogger, beauty influencer, and the beauty editor of Hello magazine, Alex Light. So I'm excited to welcome Alex Light. Hi Alex, how are you?
Hi, Rachel. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
I'm
it's an
excited
absolute
to be
pleasure.
here.
I'm so excited to have you today. So,
Yeah.
what does lockdown look like for you?
So, do you know what? I was saying, like, it's so weird that I feel like this has just become so normal. I think it's so crazy how humans like can adapt so well to like new normals, and like we're just so like phenomenal at coping. But yeah, so I'm actually up north. I've come up north to my family home. I came way before lockdown because we've got a one bed in London and it's just too small, and we had no
Mm.
garden space, no outside space. So yeah, so we've come up to my family home near Liverpool, and yeah, so it's really nice. I'm with my little sisters, so I get to spend time with them, and yeah, it's good. Like I was saying, like it feels just like this is like always been life now. Like I can't imagine getting on the tube every day and going into the office, and it's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it really will be strange when we all get to kind of get back to life as we knew it before. It will feel odd getting on busy tubes and public
Yeah,
transport. It'll be weird.
I know. Even like buying food out. Like I was
Yes.
thinking about the other day, because like obviously we can't buy food out. Like, and I used to go to Pret like every day, at least like once a day I'd nip to Pret. And that in itself, the idea of that now is just crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, for anybody that doesn't know you, how would you describe yourself?
So I am a journalist, beauty editor for Hello magazine, and I am also a body confidence influencer, for want of a better term, because I know no one really likes the term influencer, including me, but I feel like it's kind of, I feel like content creator sounds kind of, don't know, I'm not sure about that either. So anyway, influencer, body confidence influencer. Basically, I'm anti-diet culture. I'm trying to spread the message of self-acceptance and body confidence, and trying to yes, dismantle diet culture as much as I can, basically.
I mean, that's how I first came across you, because I was looking to curate my feed with full of people that were body accepting and doing really great things with their posts. And that's how I found you, because you do post really great stuff every day. And it is all about body acceptance. It's not just body confidence, because sometimes I think people say body confidence and you don't always have to feel great about yourself, do you? It's just about accepting where you are today.
Totally, yeah, that's the thing. And I think like people often I think that I'm very much promote self-love, and like of course I think that's fantastic. Self-love is fantastic, but I believe that to be a little bit optimistic, and you know, in the climate that we live in, I feel like body respect, like self-respect and body respect and acceptance is much more manageable and achievable. And really, we don't have to love every part of ourselves. That's kind of unrealistic. So I think if we can just really respect ourselves and appreciate and embrace ourselves, then that's a good start.
So which came first? Did you kind of use your social media platform to show all your articles and be more body confident and body positive about everything before you became Hello editor, beauty editor, or was it kind of at the same time?
No, so I've been at Hello now for 10 years,
Right.
so quite a long time. And I actually started Instagram because I was just sharing like my fashion and beauty basically on there, like sharing my outfits and sharing some beauty looks. And that's how I initially got a bit of a following. And I was doing that alongside the Hello stuff. And then at some point I just realized that I wasn't really enjoying it anymore, what I was doing on Instagram. And it came, you know, as I was really in the thick of an eating disorder, and had been for quite a while, and the content that I was posting just did not reflect what was going on in my own personal life. So I kind of made the decision to speak about it and open up about it, which was terrifying because
Hmm.
I obviously hadn't told anyone. Literally no one in my life knew. But it felt right to do it, even though it felt scary. And then literally from that first post, I've just completely pivoted from there. And I still do loads of like beauty looks on stories, and I love beauty. I work in beauty, so that'll always be, you know, front and center as well. But I very much want to, and God, it sounds so cliche, but I genuinely want to help people as well, like help people who are in the same situation as I was, because I felt like I was alone and I didn't have anyone, like, and didn't have access to the kind of content that, you know, we do now. So I want to, yeah, do my bit.
I mean, you're just being authentic, which is just how it should be. In terms
Yeah.
of being, you mentioned about being an influencer, and I don't like that word either. Somebody described it as being an inspirer the other day, and I thought that was a much better way of putting it. But
yeah, that's better.
yeah, how do you feel about that whole industry though? Because amongst the people, there are lots of people out there that are being really authentic and being inspiration to lots of other people, but there's also the ones that are still over editing and only showing the best bits and not being true to themselves, that I think do quite a lot of damage to other people's mental well-being. How do you feel about the whole influencer industry?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, and I think that actually I believe that makes up the majority, unfortunately, is people who you know, do edit their photos and like try and portray something that's not actually real, and it is so damaging to other people. But then I can't really fault them, because I've been in that position as well, and I think a lot of it comes from your own insecurities. But yeah, there definitely is a problem in the influencer world, and I think the portion of people who are being authentic and trying to like be real, it's definitely growing. That is definitely growing. But I think we're always gonna have that aspect of social media,
Yeah.
definitely, especially with so many young people on there as well.
Yeah.
Like that's unfortunately a side effect. But overall, I do love the space, because I think for all the negative it causes, I think, God, it's such a powerful tool. And your ability to access all these people, and like I said, to have access to the content that we do nowadays is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I've really enjoyed it whilst we've been in lockdown, being able to explore different people on social media and kind of watch more live, IGTV things. So and it has a kind of opened me up to a few different people that I hadn't heard of before. So it's kept me going during the day. I've really enjoyed it.
I know, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing the same. It's really nice. And it's all free. It's amazing. Like all this content as well is free. It's brilliant. So I think if you consume it in a careful and mindful way, social media is fantastic.
So what tips would you give to be able to kind of cope with the days when you are feeling like you're comparing yourself to everybody on social media? What tools do you use to kind of keep it all under control?
So I'm big on and I bang on about this all the time, that it's so important to curate your feed and curate the content you're consuming, because we absolutely can control what we consume. And I mean, the studies are there in black and white that they have an effect on us. What we consume has an effect on us. So make sure it's a positive effect. So that means seeking out people who are, inspire. I fill my feed with inspiring women of all different shapes and sizes who practice self-respect and body acceptance and body confidence, or different messages for that matter. But yeah, I think it's really important to curate and know that you're going onto your feed and it's not going to be triggering in any way. And also, if that means unfollowing people, then by all means unfollow people, because your mental health has to be your number one priority. And remember, there's a mute button as well. It's a fantastic little tool. So if you don't want to upset anyone by unfollowing them, you can just mute them. So I think that's really important as well. That kind of helps to stop the comparison, and to remember as well that so much of what you see on there isn't real, which is why I do loads of like posts where I show just how easy it is to edit your photos, because it used to be like editing tools used to be reserved for magazines and media, but now anyone with a smartphone can access these tools. It takes a smartphone and an app and like 2 minutes of your time, and you've got a completely different picture where you look completely different. So I try and pull the curtain up on that and just show that what you see on social media, like, you have to take it with a pinch of salt and know that a lot of what you see isn't real, and you can't compare yourself to something that isn't real. It's just not fair. It's not a comparison. It's apples and oranges. So again, being mindful as well with what you're consuming.
I mean, for you, you've kind of got two sides to your life, haven't you? Because you've got yourself being able to portray your authentic self on your Instagram feed, and then I guess the work that you do with Hello Magazine is really quite, it's very glossy, it's full of beautiful people. How do you think the media is changing to produce more authentic and real people?
I think I'm lucky that I work for Hello Magazine, because it's such a positive publication, and historically always has been, which is what attracted me to it in the first place. It's not tabloid, there's no gossip, and there's no negativity. I think in general the media definitely is changing. I think things like I think the really sad death of Caroline Flack will have made a huge difference to how the media behave when it comes to celebrities and putting their lives out there. And I think, in general, we live in a much more aware society, where the media can't quite get away with what they used to, for sure. So it's definitely changing. And also the diversity and inclusivity that we're seeing as well is massively changing, because of brands that are choosing diverse models. So it's just, I think it's gonna take a little bit longer, but we're definitely getting there.
I mean, I'm conscious of it because as an older woman, I'm 50 next month, and I'm also a model. I'm really conscious of the fact that there's a huge there's an ageist attitude in the fashion and beauty industry to older women, from my point of view and how I see it. And I think we've still got a long way to go to make those changes. How do you see the beauty industry in terms of pro-aging women and showing the representation of older women?
Firstly, I just want to say I'm mesmerised by your hair. It's the most beautiful colour.
Thank you.
We're on a Zoom call and I keep looking at it like it's such a nice colour. Do you do anything to it?
No, I have just washed it this morning, but no, this is my natural colour. I stopped colouring it about 5 years ago, so
such a nice colour.
Thank you.
Sorry, but the beauty industry definitely is changing, and it's listening to the demands of its customers, for sure. And I think we're definitely moving away from that one size fits all beauty, especially when it comes to sizes, colours, ages. I think certain things in the beauty industry are probably going to be sticking around for a while, like the anti-aging terms. I know one publication tried to ban that. I think it was a law that tried to ban the term anti-aging, but I think unfortunately that's going to stick around. But we're moving in the right direction. And I was having a discussion the other day with someone, and they were saying, but are beauty brands just jumping on the bandwagon by hiring an older model or a plus size model, or is it just sort of tokenism? And I genuinely believe that no matter what, for what reasons they're doing it, like, it's positive, and it's going to change the whole horizon. So I think it doesn't really matter the reasons behind it, like, it just, as long as we can see it.
I agree, because if it has a positive impact, then brands will appreciate that and see that it works and it's a great marketing tool, and then it'll just become the normal eventually.
Exactly.
Did you always want to do beauty journalism? When you first started into journalism, was that your subject that you really wanted to do, or?
No, it wasn't actually. So I did French at uni, French and linguistics, and then my boyfriend at the time, after uni, we moved to Paris, and then he wanted to move to Madrid. So we went to Madrid, And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to be a writer, but I've got no experience. But let's just see. So I was teaching English and keeping an eye on all the jobs that were coming up back at home, for magazines to see if I could get any internships. And there was an opening because Hello is owned by its parent company is Hola, which is in Madrid.
Right.
And there was an opening there for a fashion writer. And fashion is my background as well because of my parents. So I started there as a fashion writer, and I was doing that for about 5-6 years. And then I just started to write beauty, basically because no one else was there to write beauty for online. And I realised quickly that I love beauty. I just adore beauty and the beauty industry. And it's a much more inclusive and, I'm going to get into trouble for this, but it's definitely a kinder world, let's say, than the fashion world.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with it very quickly, and now I'm obsessed with beauty. I love it. I
Do
could
you still
spend
do?
all day.
I know on your website, you've got a fantastic website, by the way. You still do your fashion. You do quite a lot of fashion posts still, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
How do you
I
keep
do
it all in?
It's a good question. It's a good question, honestly. I feel like it's constant. It really is constant. As you know,
Yeah.
Instagram, I mean, people are, like, oh, it's an easy, it can't be hard to take a photo and post it. So much goes into it.
Yeah.
It's non-stop. It really is. And I get so many DMs as well. And I make it, I reply to every single one. So that can be just incredibly time consuming. But I'd like to say that I'm like super organized and have a schedule so I can work out doing everything. But the reality is I'm chasing my tail all the time and just trying to keep my head above water. And I've got like lists coming off of lists and lists and lists. And I just, trying to get through it all. So
during lockdown with the magazine, are you still able to work from home and still produce the same content? How's that shaping up?
Yeah. So we've all been working from home, and producing the same content. Well, Health and Beauty we've had to up our content because obviously there's less celebrities out and about at the moment. But yeah, we've been working from home, and it's been going quite well. Yeah.
Do you think this is going to change the industries after all this? Do you think there will be marked changes in the fashion and beauty industry moving forwards and in magazines? And because we have adapted so quickly to working from home and producing home content, lots of influencers have been really creative working from home a lot more, doing shoots.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm hoping this means like we can, work from home on a more permanent basis because it's fantastic. I have to get the tube every day, so that's great. I'm not sure if it'll change because initially I thought, oh, it's consumerism. People aren't going to be buying anywhere near as much. But I think as time's gone lockdown, I think buying as much as they can do really. For their means, within their means. So I think my hunch is that we're going to get back to normal pretty quickly. Just the way that we've kind of all adapted to this quite quickly, I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of the same.
Well, let's see, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So talking of beauty, I'm really interested to know what would be your number one beauty product that if you had to buy anything that you couldn't run out of, what would it be?
Beauty product, did you say?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Mascara. 100% mascara. Couldn't live without mascara. Can I have 5?
Yeah, go on, have 5.
Okay. So mascara, It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, my all-time favourite because it's really thick, it's jet black, and you only need like one coat. And I love mascara because I'm really blonde, so I don't my eyelashes are really blonde, so you can't really see them without mascara on. So number 1 has to be mascara. Number 2, bronzer. I love bronzer. I can go without all face makeup apart from bronzer. I need that. And I like, which bronzer do I like? I like the, Rodial. I love that.
Yeah. I've just ordered some of that for the first time. I'm waiting for it to come through. Yeah, I've just ordered it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's a really good brand. Yeah, you'll like it. What did you order?
The primer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's a really nice brand. Dry shampoo. I can't live without. I love Philip Kingsley dry shampoo. I use it every single day.
Yeah.
I use it not to not in place of shampooing, but actually just to, I feel like it adds a bit of oomph to my hair and a bit of texture as well. And also as you can see, my roots right now, they're not great. So a bit of the shampoo kind of livens up the roots a little bit. I love Max Factor Lipfinity, which is like a stain. It's double-ended, so you've got a stain and then a balm to go over the top of it,
Right.
to keep it hydrated. I love that. Sorry, this was longer than you anticipated.
It's all right. No, I mean, I'm interested.
I love CeraVe have amazing cleanser that I always go on about. It's called their hydrating cleanser, and it's really cheap. I think it's $2.99, and it's such a good cleanser. So I couldn't live without that either. Yeah, they're my top 5 at the moment.
I shall go and look those up. In terms of the beauty industry, because obviously fashion is changing now because there's a lot more emphasis on sustainable fashion. Do you think the beauty industry is going to change and become more conscious and conscientious and more kind of cruelty-free and natural? Do you think we'll see a shift?
To be honest, there already has been a huge shift, and I think it's kind of at the top of all beauty brands' priority list is to become more sustainable, and a lot of brands are cruelty-free now, and the others are trying to be, because it's kind of just not acceptable really anymore. And consumers are really savvy with both sustainability and the cruelty aspect as well. Consumers are savvy. They understand that they read labels much more, and they want to know what's going into their products much more. So definitely the landscape has changed in that sense, and will continue to do so until we're completely, cruelty free and as sustainable as we can be.
No, that's really good to hear. So the last 3 questions I ask all my guests.
Okay.
Do you have a favourite song that always motivates you?
So I do, but like I have a terrible taste in music. Like I like emo music. I never grew out of those like teenage angsty years. So I like sad, slow, like emotional music. So Placebo, I don't know if you've heard of Placebo.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're my favourite band. So a song by them called Too Many Friends. That's my favourite song.
Right.
I wouldn't advise anyone to look it up because you probably won't like it.
What about a book? What about a book that inspires you? Obviously you have to do a lot of research on the beauty side, but do you have time to read books as well?
You know what? I don't have much time to read books nowadays, which is naughty, but a few books that I have read that I go back to a lot is the Skincare Bible by a dermatologist who's amazing called Anjali Mahto, and that's brilliant. It's got everything you could need to know about skincare and skin in it, so that's a fantastic one that I have on my shelf. And I also, unrelated, but there's a great book by Laura Thomas called Just Eat It, which is all about intuitive eating, and it's fantastic for anyone who's struggled with their eating habits, and has been a yo-yo dieter, and who's lost trust in their body and their body's natural hunger and full signals and cues. So that's a fantastic one as well, and I regularly go back to those too.
And who inspires you?
Who inspires me? God, do you know what? I know it's so cringe to say your mum, and everyone says your mum, but it really is mine, 100% for sure. Because I mean, like, I just think back to what she did, because she was, I'm one of 5 girls, and I'm the eldest, and the youngest are. So they are 6 years younger than me. So she had 5 kids under 6 because they're twins. Wow. And the idea that she did it all, and I just think is quite fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my mum.
Lovely. How ambitious are you for the future, particularly with your platform? Have you got goals that you'd like to achieve with your social media platform and the message you're sending out?
Do you know what? I was talking about this to my boyfriend the other day, and he said set some goals, and I was like, do you know what? I'm so happy with how it's going at the moment, because I feel like what I'm posting is resonating. It's, I think, helping to make a difference in a small way, and I can't really ask for more than that. You know, it's obviously great when you see the numbers go up. That's fantastic, but I'm genuinely not in it for the numbers game, and I'm not really, you know, I don't have number goals in that sense. I think as long as I can continue to help, like, as long as I can feel like I've got purpose with what I'm doing, which is what I feel right now, I think that's the most important thing. And then my podcast as well, just for that to
Yes, I was going to ask you about the podcast. You started the Light podcast, and I've listened to it, and it's really great.
Oh,
and I read the listen to the first one where you said actually it's taken you out of your comfort zone, and you felt really kind of scared about doing it at first. How have you found the whole experience now you've done a few?
Do you know what? It was so scary, because I think it seems so much more intimate than any other format, because you're in someone's ear, and generally when they're not listening to anything else while they're listening to podcasts, and they're not really distracted. So it really did scare me, and it took me so long to actually get to the point where I was able to get them out. But now I feel like I'm really, and this is something that I'm trying to do in general with my life as well, is I'm such a perfectionist, and I feel like if something's not perfect, I don't want it to go out. I don't want to create anything that isn't perfect, and I'm trying to let that go, because I think it just hinders me. Actually, it doesn't do me any good in the long term. So with the podcast, I had to like sort of let go of control a little bit and say, well, like, I've done the best that I can. Like, it might not be perfect, but I've done my best, and it's going out. And do you know what? The feedback has been brilliant, actually, and it's been so nice. So yeah, I can see, you can see who do like the reviews, and I've seen like there's some in the 1 stars. I'm like, who would do that? That's so mean. But I'm learning to, like, let those things go and let it, water off a duck's back.
I've just read a brilliant book that I can recommend called Playing Big by Tara Moore. And she talks exactly about that, about the fact that if you've got a message and you've got a vocation that you really want to put out into the world, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just get going with it and get yourself out there and take that first step. And it's really good. And it talks about that self-criticism. So definitely recommend it.
I'm gonna buy that. Playing it big.
Playing Big by Tara Moore.
Playing big. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel like that as well? Are you a bit of a perfectionist?
And I'm a real technophobe. So I've been putting off doing these Zoom recordings for months, because I knew I wanted to do it for a podcast, but I'm just kind of scared of doing it. So this situation has actually forced me to do it, because I was craving seeing people. You wanted to talk. It's not the same on the phone. It's really nice to be able to do that one-to-one, even if it's via Zoom. So it has forced me out of my comfort zone.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better that way, definitely, to be able to see faces while you do it, for sure. Yeah.
Well, keep on doing everything you're doing. It's really inspiring, and it's been fabulous to talk to you today. So what have you got planned for the rest of the day?
So for the rest of the day, I am replying to my DMs. So I've scheduled in a few hours, and I'm going to sit and go through them and hopefully get them all done, and then maybe I can enjoy a bit of sun before it goes down.
Well, good luck with that, and make the most of it, and keep safe and well with lockdown. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. To keep up to date with everything Alex is doing, you can go over to her website, alexlightldn.com. You can also follow her on Instagram, alexlight_ldn, and you can also listen to her podcast and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, The Light Show. I'll be back soon with another guest. In the meantime, keep being fabulous.